Wow. Unfucking believable. I mean, unbelievable what we just saw here tonight with the main event of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view with the WWE Championship on the line. May I go on to saying right now, Daniel Bryan is one of the best heels going right now in WWE. I mean, as overall, he is outside of the match he had with AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble with Eric Rowan interfering in the match, every match that Daniel Bryan has had, he has fought he's fought heavily to keep this title as a defending champion and doing what he does as a heel. Tonight, he had a great strategy that any person could have used based on his size, height, weight, and what have you. He's going up against five other guys in the matchup, and he put on a hell of a show. But that is not the focal point of this conversation. The guy that I believe watching after this event deserves to be Daniel Bryan's next WrestleMania opponent for that WWE Championship is none other than Kofi Kingston himself. Him and Daniel Bryan at the end of this match, near the end, put on a hell of a clinic. I can only imagine what these two guys would put on for a WrestleMania match for the WWE Championship. Now, granted, I know for a fact we won't see that as the main event. There is two other matches that are more than deserving to be the main event, and that's the WWE Raw Women's Championship and the WWE Universal Championship. So with both of those two title matches withstanding, they're both possible of being the main event of WrestleMania. Now, the WWE Championship, though, on the other hand, just to see Kofi Kingston in a title picture, one-on-one against the man known as Daniel Bryan, the WWE Champion, with by far the worst-looking fucking WWE Championship I have ever seen in my life to represent a character that he portrays. God help us all. I mean, it's one thing getting rid of the side plates, but it's another to go ahead and take the title completely and throw it away. Let me just put it that way. I think that was the most outrageous and retarded thing that WWE did with Daniel Bryan's heel run right now. Other than that, I think they've done a fantastic job with him and producing such a great character that he is portraying. I think it's fantastic. This matchup was great. I enjoyed it. The overall pay-per-view, outside of the two Elimination Chamber matches, I just did not care for the rest of this show. I mean, the SmackDown Tag Team titles as a regular matchup was probably by far the best matches out of all of regular matches that you got to see on this card. They were the best one, really. The Usos versus Shane and Miz for the tag team titles. The rest of the show, just outside of the two Elimination Chamber matches, wasn't even noteworthy to watch. I didn't care for it. I was bored of it. Literally, by the time I got to the Elimination Chamber, I was starting to get sleepy. I've had a long fucking weekend with a lot of shit I had to do, and I also did a lot of drinking this weekend. Even while I'm having a cold, I didn't give a shit, and I've got a headache right now as we speak. I drank during the afternoon, celebrating my grandmother's birthday, and I'm starting to develop a headache from it, so whatever, it's no big deal. I'll just take some Motrin, I'll be alright. It's not a problem, but bottom line to all of this, guys, is that this show overall was bland. It was boring. It wasn't all that big of a deal. Unless it was the 2 Elimination Chamber matches, I didn't care for this show. Really, to be honest with you. And that's sad to say. But, let's get into the matches. I'll give you the results. Just a little bit of my critique on the matches themselves. Pretty much, you're going to hear me saying a lot of stuff such as boring, and so on and so forth. But yeah, as you already know, Daniel Bryan, we'll just start right off the top of the main event of the show and then work our way back up to the main event itself. Daniel Bryan retains his WWE Championship belt. May I go on to say that WWE title once again looks like a piece of hunk of shit. I'm getting really tired of Samoa Joe. I think what they have done with Samoa Joe is absolutely disgusting in itself. I don't like it. He was the first person eliminated in this match. Then Jeff Hardy, which I said would be a great WrestleMania opponent. But man, Kofi Kingston put on such a great matchup with Daniel Bryan as the last two guys. How can you not grant him an opportunity for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania? I mean, make a tournament, make him earn it, you know? Have him face a couple of great names to earn his way and rank up to a WWE title opportunity. I mean, there's not really anyone on SmackDown that's noteworthy, that's a new fresh face that you've gotten to make believable that could beat Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship, except for this one guy in this just one only match. So yes, I believe Kofi Kingston should be Daniel Bryan's next opponent just based on this match alone. If it wasn't for this matchup, I wouldn't have cared for Kofi Kingston whatsoever in the WWE Championship scene. But because of this match, I would want that. But if you're not going to go with him, go with Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy has yet to have a WrestleMania moment. The man has never won the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. He or Kofi Kingston would be the two best picks you can go with right now. Bottom line. People still love Jeff Hardy. I heard people cheering for Jeff Hardy when he came out during his entrance. People were cheering for him when he did the Swanton Bomb onto AJ Styles and hitting AJ Styles while he was laying on top of the rope. Top rope and everything, and so forth. So, with that standing, he is also a very highly loved character that you guys have built up within the WWE. So, I definitely see Jeff Hardy as another aspect. But if you want to go with a new face, Kofi Kingston's your guy. Most definitely. I was super impressed with him, and I've been impressed with him in several different occasions in his career. 11 years that he's performed in WWE. But this was the big moment, break, per se, that Kofi Kingston could ask for right now in his career. This was fucking fantastic. And I think he deserves the opportunity to go after the WWE Championship. You want to build new faces? Kofi Kingston's always been a mid-card wrestler. Time to make him a main eventer. That's all I gotta say on that subject. Because he definitely proved to a lot of people he deserves it. This matchup did not make Kofi Kingston look pathetic. Daniel Bryan didn't cheat. He won this match fair and square. Very impressed with both characters and very impressed with the matchup itself. So, now moving on now to the other Elimination Chamber that started off the night. I think this women's tag team division needs some work. But the choice that they picked with Sasha Banks and Bayley is the best choice. Because them as individuals right now, they're not going to go anywhere. They're not going to be able to succeed into the main event scene of the women's division on Monday Night Raw. With it being completely smothered with Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair all wanting an opportunity at being WWE Women's Champion. So, personally, I feel that is the best choice for them to go. But they need to work on a tag team division. Oshi Shirai and Kairi Sane, which my friend Matthew brought up to me during the time we were watching this event. He called me up and he said, "Yo, dude, don't you think it would have been better if they would have added maybe like Oshi Shirai and Kairi Sane? They're a great tag team. They're well developed in the NXT division. Why not bring them up for this just one-time only matchup and at least give some credibility to having a tag team unlike Naomi and Carmella or Tamina and Nia Jax?" Now, Tamina and Nia Jax, I'm okay with, because they're the Goliath type tag team that I was surprised did not last all the way up to the end with Sasha Banks and Bayley and having them beat Nia Jax and Tamina. But that's not a big deal because it was a little bit more believable. They had everyone try to attack Tamina and put them out of this matchup, which is what they did in the middle of the match itself. But I am very satisfied and happy with the way this all ended. At the end of the day, they picked the right tag team to win and carry this title for the very first time. So Sasha Banks and Bayley, good luck to you with this shitty-ass fucking division that most people probably won't care a diggly shit about until we start seeing legit tag teams that people will give a fuck about to watch. That's all I have to say on that. But the matchup itself wasn't too bad. Like the opener, I thought it was pretty fucking good. Next match after that was Shane McMahon and The Miz versus the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Now, I was actually okay with this match as well. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, for this Elimination Chamber review of 2019, I actually thought that the matchup that these two tag teams had was actually by far the best regular matchup outside of the two Elimination Chambers you can ask for in any match. It was very similar to what they did at the Royal Rumble. Shane McMahon did a lot of the high-risk maneuvers, got himself hurt pretty badly, and The Miz trying to pick up the victory for his team, and he ended up being the weak link, where he ends up being pinned in a schoolboy maneuver. My thoughts on that. Do I agree with this? Absolutely not. But we all know, not both, but we all know that that chances are there's a high probability this match is leading to Shane versus The Miz one-on-one at WrestleMania. Now, I don't like it. I actually am starting to like this tag team. Not to mention him being linked with Shane is somewhat making me have a little bit sympathy for The Miz. I know that sounds strange because I'm not one of the guys that say I like The Miz so much. He's more of a guy that can give you a good promo, but that's about it. But he is telling a great story. He is trying to impress his father and himself, proving something to himself that he is a great wrestler. He wants to be the best in the world, like a CM Punk, a Chris Jericho, a Stone Cold Steve Austin, a Rock, a Triple H, or whatever you want to call the best in the world in professional wrestling, a Shawn Michaels even. He wants to claim the right to say he is one of the best. And this can only lead to one thing: the WWE Championship. Now, here's a touchy subject that they could go possibly without having Shane at all in the mix with The Miz. He could go about getting encouraged by Shane to trying to go after the WWE Championship instead. This being the main match for SmackDown's WWE Championship. I don't know how people would feel on that subject, especially the fact that a lot of people prefer Daniel Bryan being the face, Miz being the heel in this situation, because that worked out a lot better. But that all depends on the person, on the people, and overall fans' approval of this matchup. I think the safest bet is go with Kofi Kingston to face for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania against Daniel Bryan. That's how I feel about this right now. So, you want to try to give the people what they want to watch, and put your, as a promoter, my idea is trying to put myself in a situation where I can pick and choose who I want and still make the crowd be happy whichever one I choose, making it easier on me with my, storyline decisions on where I want to go after WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan is a very likable guy. Heel or face, it don't matter. The bottom line is, he is a great wrestler, face or heel. He has given us great matches as a heel now, and I've been very impressed with him. Very impressed. I liked what they did with him in this Elimination Chamber. Great strategy, keeping himself away from everybody, trying to avoid from being eliminated. And that is what needed to happen in this match, to portray him as a heel but yet not as a coward. And I think that was fantastic. But going back to The Miz, I think The Miz and Shane McMahon being linked together is a touchy little subject, because I don't want to see them become enemies. I don't want to see them be one-on-one opponents for WrestleMania. I don't want Shane at all, unless he's tagging with The Miz at WrestleMania, linked with Miz to do a one-on-one match. Shane does not need to be in a WrestleMania match at all. If you could see clearly, the man is killing himself. He killed himself in both of those matches with The Miz. And I personally, I feel like this is a great storyline they could do with Shane and The Miz. And this may not interest people. It may interest people. But I personally think that this might be the best thing to do. And this might point him in the direction of being the WWE Champion at WrestleMania. He goes ahead and he goes on SmackDown Live Tuesday night and he says, look, you busted your ass to help us get these tag titles. I made a promise that I was going to help us win this matchup, and showed him my dad I'm a noteworthy wrestler and I'm one of the best in the world with you, and that we'd hold on to the tag team titles for a long time. And I pretty much messed up. I had this match won. I almost got the 3. It took one of the Usos lightly. He rolled me up into a schoolboy and I didn't kick out, and I lost us the tag titles. After all the shit that you went through, Shane, I think I should just go ahead and say, look, man, you don't need to be my tag team partner, because you don't need to be putting yourself through this kind of danger, and you killed yourself for us to win these tag titles, and you killed yourself to retain them. And I didn't do my part, and I don't think that this tag team is the best thing for us. I need to go out on my own and prove to myself what I'm made of. And that could lead to a tournament into Fastlane to determine SmackDown's number 1 contender at WrestleMania for Daniel Bryan's WWE Championship. Now, you could mix these two storylines up. You take The Miz, you take Kofi Kingston as the two finalists going into this matchup, and you choose whichever one you want. Now, you can go based off of judging how the fans are reacting with The Miz being involved in this tournament and seeing him win, rack up wins going into Fastlane itself. But at the end of the day, you make the judgment call as a promoter, this is being directed at Vince McMahon himself. If you start seeing an audience not liking the idea that The Miz is going after the WWE title and they're not happy that he's there, and you got Kofi Kingston, who of course is going to be liked because of the performance that he put on, people are going to continue to like him and really root for him to want to win the WWE Championship. So, you can go off of one of those two things. I say really at this point, if you go that direction, at least it gives The Miz an opportunity to rack up wins and go into the finals of Fastlane to determine who would get to face Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. Of course, if the fans are not happy with seeing The Miz move in all the way into this and they're not excited, I wouldn't go with The Miz at all. Make him lose. At that point, then you have to go with The Miz facing Shane McMahon because you got no other plans for the guy. So, if you got no plans for him, then Shane McMahon's the best bet to go for Miz having a WrestleMania opponent. So that's how I feel on that situation. I think that's probably the best route to go. See how things work out for The Miz leading into WrestleMania. And if by Fastlane you don't feel confident enough, if fans would be happy with this idea, or you're getting a negative reaction throughout the entire tournament, of course you're going to go with Kofi Kingston to win. That's just my little fantasy booking I think would be best for the WWE. At least for the WrestleMania card. So the next match after that was a real shitbag fucking match. I don't know why Lio Rush is even in WWE. They're not giving this man any credibility. He was actually by far one of the greatest, not one of the greatest, but one of the best independent wrestlers going before he came into WWE. Like, in the sense of Ricochet type level of wrestling. So, to see him not do anything at all really pissed me off. Truly did. But that's the situation there. So yeah, I wasn't happy with that whatsoever. I thought what they did with Lio Rush was bullshit. Finn Balor ends up getting the victory, hitting a 2-day gras on fucking Lio Rush, and gets the 1-2-3 to become the new Intercontinental Champion. Now, I got one question for all you guys. Why the fuck couldn't Finn Balor been the champion last year at WrestleMania 34? You're gonna wait all this time in the shittiest fucking match possible you can think of, is you give Finn Balor the WWE Championship by him beating Lio Rush and not Bobby Lashley of all people? I mean, shit, if you're gonna make him win the fucking title, make him beat the champion, not the fucking manager, who you're not even helping build into something noteworthy to care about. Because Lio Rush, quite frankly, was a great performer in the independent wrestling scene, and now he's a fucking sideshow clown idiot here in WWE. So you go figure that one out and tell me later, because I don't fucking understand that worth a shit. But yeah, Finn Balor wins this matchup in a very boring, very slow pace lethargic matchup. I did not even give a flying fuck about this match whatsoever. After that, I believe that was, Ronda Rousey versus Ruby Riott. Why the fuck is Ruby Riott getting a title shot opportunity and getting made to look like a bitch? They made her tap out to Ronda Rousey in less than 5 minutes. This match didn't even go 5 minutes, and she's tapping out within 5 minutes. What the fuck kind of bullshit is that? What a joke. Then we have Charlotte Flair come into the middle of the ring and talk her bullshit, and with no microphone, you can't even hear what the fuck they're saying. Charlotte Flair, before the match, did mention some things about how Becky Lynch got involved in her business at a live event the night before, and she popped her pretty good in a fucking kneecap and made her injury worse, supposedly, that they are doing this so-called quote-unquote work, or this quote-unquote injury that they are making up, and, glorifying the fact that she injured Becky Lynch even more than she already was injured after she's been suspended. So that is the whole situation there. Based on the promo work that she did, she has improved a lot. I am extremely happy with the way she has performed with her promos. I think she is doing an outstanding job on that. So let's move into the aftermath, because the whole match itself just was an absolute joke. So we go ahead, we move into the post part of this matchup, and as I was mentioning, Charlotte and Ronda Rousey were face to face, talking smack to each other back and forth, and then Becky Lynch comes out of nowhere. Out of fucking nowhere on crutches. Now, me personally, I already gave you guys my feelings on this. I think that what JD said in his little review at one point when he was talking about Becky Lynch, and how they should keep her off television now that she's already suspended until later on when the time is right, and that's when she should interfere and get involved in the company. I agree with that. Now, granted, what they're doing with Becky Lynch here isn't too bad, but it's not giving you the same exact kind of effect. If you watch my Random Wrestling Talk episode number 3, which I did yesterday, I mentioned that you keep her off television until a big moment happens, which is when Charlotte Flair is having her birthday. The best time to do it is during Charlotte Flair's birthday. You have the old man there, Ric Flair, woo, yippee-ki-yay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you have Becky Lynch come out and you put him in an arm bar and threaten that if she don't get what she wants and isn't reinstated in this match, she's breaking his fucking arm in two. And you have Triple H come out, say, hey, I played this exact game before, yet I broke Jim Ross's arm to get my title shot opportunity. I have a lot of respect for you, but if you want this title opportunity, you better let him go or you're going to get fired. And that's how I would have done that. That's how I would have gotten her reinstated and put her into the WWE title picture. And then with some serious dialogue and stuff like that, you get what you're going for and you get a serious tone to this matchup. Instead, we're seeing Becky Lynch show up now at live events. Now she showed up tonight. All this nonsense. And now she's coming out on crutches. She beats Charlotte Flair senseless with one of the crutches. She hands Ronda Rousey the damn crutches to go ahead and take some swipes at Charlotte Flair, and instead she snatches it from her, beats her senseless as well, and then is escorted out of the building. Now, granted, it's a lot of fucking stuff that shows the shades of Stone Cold Steve Austin. The only thing missing was cops and handcuffs behind her back, and her smiling at her work. She pretty much was doing that anyway. The only thing she was missing was handcuffs behind the backs with cops escorting her out of the building. It's the only thing that's missing. This segment made absolutely no sense once she started wailing on fucking Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey has really no major beef with her so much. I mean, outside of fucking her out of the women's championship. But Charlotte Flair has more beef with Ronda Rousey than... Or, not Ronda Rousey, with Charlotte. Sorry, I'm getting these names all mixed up. Becky Lynch has more beef with Charlotte Flair than Becky Lynch does with Ronda Rousey. I mean, they have a past history that goes for years on in of on and off rivalry, and so forth. The only thing that you really can be okay with here is that Ronda Rousey fucked her out of the women's championship. I understand that, but Ronda Rousey did that of a specific reason because Becky Lynch came out of nowhere and beat the living fuck out of her in the backstage. I mean, if you didn't think that wasn't coming, you're fucking crazy. So, yeah, to me, I didn't... I'm sorry, there's just a lot of noise going on around my apartment, so I'm just wondering what the hell is going on as I'm doing this recording. But bottom line is, guys, the whole thing was stupid. It really was. I didn't think her having... I think she should have focused on more having an ally going into WrestleMania right now at this point, and do that later on when they're more close to WrestleMania weekend, than doing this in this moment where there's still a lot more of time coming up where Ronda Rousey could be a great asset to her, where she could put Charlotte Flair out of her hair somewhat and then focus on Ronda Rousey one-on-one after they've beaten her senseless, making her less of a threat in this championship match and making it more about Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch. But as you could see watching this segment, Ronda Rousey really wasn't anything important. This is all centered around Charlotte and Becky Lynch, which goes to show you WWE never really needed Ronda Rousey to get these women over at all. All it took was help promoting at least these two women they've done a great job with, and if they did the same thing with everyone else on the women's division, they would have a fucking great roster for competing over championships and even single competition in grudge matches for your cards on pay-per-views and so forth. But bottom line is, they have no faith in their talent. You can clearly see that in everything they do. That's why people are wanting to leave the company and go with another company such as AEW. I mean, come on. How fucking stupid can you get? It clearly is showing that they're just fed up with this fucking product and how they have no faith in what they're paying all these people money, yet they're giving them no faith in their ability to get over. That's a huge problem. If you don't have faith in your talent, why the fuck bother having them there? Oh, for the sake of keeping them stored up somewhere like fucking ragamuffin animals inside cages so they can't go and explore other options? The fuck out of here. That's why this company is going down the fucking drain. They have no faith in their fucking talent whatsoever. don't get me wrong, Ronda Rousey is an outstanding character that they have built up. And that's a lot to do in what she has done as an outside performer in a real combat sport. Ronda Rousey is a natural at this. She is great. She is believable. She is realistic to what she does because she has real fighting experience. But Becky Lynch and Charlotte are putting on a great show for us. I would love if they main evented this match without Ronda Rousey even being there. And I'm not saying that because I don't like Ronda Rousey. I'm saying that because it's the truth. They don't really need Ronda Rousey to help make this match great. Charlotte and Becky Lynch is what made this match great. Ronda Rousey's just the added on bonus to the situation. That's all there is to it. These are the women that should be the main event. Ronda Rousey shouldn't even be anywhere near this. Because even though as great of a real in-ring talent or real combat sport fighter she is at one point in her life, they really never needed her for this. They needed the women that have been there who actually cared about being in-ring wrestlers from the time they started their careers. Now, don't get me wrong, as I mentioned, Ronda Rousey is great. And she's just like a cherry on the top of a cake for this matchup. But honestly, a one-on-one women's main event match, if that's what they go with, would be probably the best suit for this whole situation. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think about the whole situation. Do you agree with my comment? Do you not agree with it? Or are you kind of like in between? You think I'm somewhat on the right deal with this, or you think maybe I might be a little bit off path with the idea that Ronda Rousey shouldn't be in the main event? Let me know. But personally, I think we all can agree on that WWE doesn't have any faith in their in-ring talent. Then the last match after that, the next to last match, which was Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin, a no disqualification match. Oh, God. This match was terrible. It was by far the worst match on the whole fucking card. Despite Ronda Rousey beating Ruby Riott in less than 5 minutes, this match was worse. Pathetic. I don't even want to get into the conversation of this matchup. Braun Strowman is never, and I mean never, going to amount to anything in this company. Tonight, if you can say the word buried, the term buried, as a way of describing what happened to Braun Strowman tonight, I think that's the proper term to use in this situation. He was fucking buried. It took 3 men to beat his fucking ass, and they beat him decisively. They kicked his ass. Who are you going to give Braun Strowman as an opponent for WrestleMania? Please tell me in the comments down below on that one. Because I couldn't figure out one person I would put Braun Strowman up against for WrestleMania. Because he is absolutely dreadful. The fans do not give a flying fuck about Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is not getting the same crowd reactions he once was. He is not getting shit. He is getting not even boos. Thank God for he ain't getting boos. But still, he ain't even getting any kind of crowd reaction of any sort. It's fucking sad and pathetic, if you ask me. So yeah. Match absolutely sucked between Baron Corbin and Braun Strowman. And he had Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley along with him. I guess apparently they're back together with no explanation to why. And oh yeah, Bobby Lashley earlier on during the night beat the shit out of Lio Rush because he lost the fucking title. Unbelievable. I honestly think that WWE has still a lot of work ahead of them. They have got to get their shit together. And they need to get some characters built up and give us reason and get some fucking energy. Pump some fucking energy in the freaking shows, man. Into the wrestlers, into something. Give them fucking shock therapy. I don't give a fuck. But get them freaking energized and pumped. When I watch this shit, it makes me want to fucking fall asleep. Thank God for the main event, because if it wasn't for what was going on with Randy Orton hitting those RKOs at first, and then fucking Kofi Kingston getting that elimination on Randy Orton, I think I probably would have fell asleep through the fucking main event itself, because the rest of the show bored the living hell out of me. Seriously. Anyway, leave your comments and opinions down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. Hit the like button if you like this video, and hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And I thank you very much for watching, and have a great night, guys. Bye.